The No Fate channel, checking in. On this episode of Dad's Old House, I am doing a 1-month review of this Craftsman 12-gallon 6 horsepower shop vac. I'm going to talk about the vacuum that it's replacing, why I went with this Craftsman, and then we're going to pull a Marty McFly and we're going to go back to the future. We're going to hop 1 month into the future and get my first 1-month impression of this. Obviously, we're going to talk about cost, and that's what we're going to do. So if this is your first time to the channel, give this video a like and hit that red subscribe button. On this Dad's Old House series, I typically go over stuff that has to do with this old house. And many people who own a home or have a garage have to have a shop vac. It's just one of those must-haves, super duper convenient. And that's why we're going to be doing this unboxing and review. But let's take a quick step back and talk about the one that it is replacing. This Craftsman's replacing this Craftsman. Now this Craftsman that you're looking at right here is over 10 years old and it's still working. It's still going crazy. It's 5 horsepower and it has absolutely gotten the job done in the garage, cleaning the cars. I've been vacuuming out the grill with this thing. Why did I bother going specifically with this Craftsman shop vac? Well, number one, this one lasted me over 10 years and it's still working. So I figured, let's let it ride one more time and go with Craftsman. When I was a young kid, Craftsman was sold exclusively at Sears and Roebuck, and they were the leader, the front runner, the name in the game with regards to anything, whether it was automotive, whether it was home, or whether it was like a yard machine. Sears and Roebuck, if you got a Craftsman, you know you got a good one. Eventually, because of bankruptcy issues, they all got sold. So I have no idea who makes this now. But again, the previous one was good. I figured this one was going to be good as well. Fingers crossed. Also, why I went with this one was the price. It was under that $100 threshold. I'll put what I paid right up here. I got it off of Amazon. Craftsman and a lot of other shop vac companies do this. They have very, and I do mean extremely similar products, and they give them all different numbers. So that Amazon has their own specific line, Lowe's has their own specific line, Home Depot, Walmart, etc., etc. It's very hard to compare apples to apples because none of them have the same exact specific dimensions, whatnot. I'll put this product number right up here so that if you're looking for a specific product number, you know where this is. I will say that this came in about $91, which for me was right what I wanted to spend. Keeping in mind, a brand new air filter alone costs $20. So I thought $91 was a good price compared to some of the more expensive ones. Also, this is 12-gallon, which is more than I need for my home use with regards to whether I need to clean up a whole bunch of dirt and stuff, or if I actually have a water situation where I got to pull up gallons of water off the floor. Secondly, I will say that it is 6 horsepower. Now this older one had 5 horsepower and it was very strong, again, for my home use. But I know, and you probably do too, that it's never an issue having more suction when it comes to a shop vac, because as they age, they're always going to deteriorate off of that like new startup suction power, right? Everything, as these things age, the seals kind of go a little bit, the hose gets a small crack in it. It's never going to have as much power as it does originally. So trying to get that 6 horsepower versus 5, I thought hopefully it would give me a bit more power longer in life. Let's crack this open and let's see. Another bonus with regards to this one, and a lot of the other ones are doing the same thing. This has a 20-foot cord. It is nice to get a longer cord because then you don't have to necessarily always go with an extension cord. You can just use this one. A lot of the cheaper ones have shorter cords, and it ends up being an issue. You always have to make sure you have an extension cord with you, regardless of where you're using. So let's pop this top and see what's inside. All right, we got the 2-inch attachments, and you can see that this is going to be not only a lot wider than this one, and it's going to be a lot more firm. Oftentimes I found like this one just was ready to give out when I was vacuuming up the floor. Okay, we got a brand new air filter, again, at the cost of $20. It's nice to get a brand new air filter. And we got this top, and it does have some nice big buttons, making it easy and obvious to shut it off and turn it on. 20-foot cord. Some assembly will be required. And then we have these attachments. Now, these attachments are actually worth their weight. I actually lost some of the attachments on the original Craftsman that I originally talked about. And I needed these to do the car, the rug, the upholstery of the vehicles. And we got a nice long durable cord. It does come with like a bag for, I don't know, for whatever use. And then that is the base with the wide opening. So let's just assemble this thing. Assembly was less than 10 minutes. Very easy. All I needed was a Phillips head screwdriver and a few initial reasons that I picked this up based off of the marketing photos compared to a lot of the other ones that are out there. Obviously, I already mentioned the extremely long power cord, but the handle is here in the middle. So if you ever want to just pick this thing up to move it a long distance rather than roll it across the floor, it's centered in the middle. My older one is on the side, and as soon as you pick it up, the thing just shifts, and it's very, very awkward to move around. Also, the actual hose can be held on the side. This has two little things on the side that allow you to kind of shift that hose around so that when it's not in use, it's not drag on the floor and you're not gonna run it over with your car like I did in my previous version. Also, I do like the fact that you can store a lot of the attachments, 2 on top and then 4 around the legs if you prefer, but I like that you can store them on top because it ends up just being a little bit easier to know which ones you have, where they're located, and again, once you lose them, trying to replace one of these costs almost as much as a new shop vac. So if you lose these or these happen to get run over by the car, you're gonna be out of a few bucks, man. It's gonna be just a nuisance and you're really gonna be asking yourself, should I just buy a new one, depending on the age of your current shop vac. So let's go back to the future and see how this handles 1 month into the future. We are now 2 weeks into my review of this Craftsman shop vac. So happy Christmas and Merry New Year. Wait a minute. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. What have I been doing with this shop vac? I've just been vacuuming up this filthy garage, cleaning up the windows and the floor and all the corners and the detritus and debris that's on here. A few standouts. Number one, way more powerful than my previous version. Makes perfect sense because the previous version is over 10 years old and it's a smaller horsepower shop vac. This thing definitely has a lot more suction power. It actually is fairly quiet. Again, I'm comparing it to my previous Craftsman. I do like all of the attachments as well as the storage. It ends up being extremely easy to store everything on here with regards to the attachments and the hose. So you don't have the hose lying on the floor. Makes it a little bit harder to run over with your car if it's not lying on the floor. One of the great standouts, at least for me, especially compared to that previous Craftsman, you might be able to see it hanging up in the background, is the cord. It's a 20-foot cord, very, very long, and it's nice because it really sucks, and I will say sucks when you have to go get an extension cord just to use your vacuum around the garage and stuff like that. For the price point that I paid, which at the time was $91.50, a steal of a deal. I am extremely happy with the performance of the vacuum, how it stands today. I will say I looked today and the price point was $126. So maybe I got it on a deal, but Amazon prices fluctuate so much. Check the link in the description to see what the price point is today. I know Craftsman has a number of shop vacs that almost all look the same and many of them have the same horsepower, but they've got different models and a few different differences between the two. But this one, and I'll put the model here and in the description, it's solid. If you can pick this thing up for $91, you absolutely should. Would I get this if I had like a true workshop, right? If I was a craftsman, which I'm not. If I was a craftsman, I had a true workshop, or I was on a job site, I wouldn't pick this one up. It's not that I think it's a bad one, but clearly if you're a true man's man, or a woman's woman. If you have a lot of heavy duty stuff that's gonna get done, you're gonna want something a bit more professional. This is made for the Joe Schmo, John Q. Public, Joe 6-pack that's just gonna be vacuuming up their garage and their basement. And I'm gonna do the car with this. I already did the front seats on the vehicle with this and found it to be really good, especially with this kind of carpet attachment, perfect for the car. Overall, if you're a home guy like me and you're looking to just get one for around the home, around the garage, around the shop, absolutely look into this Craftsman, especially if you can pick it up for 91 dineros. However, if you've got a professional crew that you're managing, you might want to spend a bit more money and don't go cheap with it. Hopefully you found today's video informative. Any questions, drop them in the comments below. Let me know. Comment below. What did you get this year for Christmas? I am frankly curious. What was underneath your Christmas tree? Were you on Santa's nice list or his naughty list? As usual, thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back.